Hello everybody, welcome back to Slow Your Roll. I'm Cody.
I'm Alex.
And today we are going to playtest a little bit of a simple game that we made a video for recently. Check that video out too. But today we're going to playtest it and see how it goes. So I'm going to run Alex through a adventure. It's kind of Wild West themed, sort of. And show you how incredibly easy it is. And maybe we'll break the game and that'll be fun too.
Hey, let's try it.
Yeah. But anyway, if you want to introduce your characters, and I'll kind of introduce the world, and we'll figure it out from there.
Absolutely. So, we got Rick and Rodney Ricochet. They're the Ricochet brothers. They're kind of a nefarious group. I would say Rick is the leader, and Rodney's a little bit slower, but he'll follow Rick anywhere. They were a part of a gang, but that gang came second in their allegiances, and they knew it, and they tried to use that against Rick and Rodney. But neither one would have it, and they're on the run from the law and the gang as well.
Very cool. Okay, so I got some stuff typed up on my phone, so I'm going to be referencing that the whole time. But let's get you some world info here. So the setting, the year is 1875 in a frontier town of Sandstone Springs.
Sandstone.
Yep. That town lies nestled at the base of the imposing, desolate, dusty Crag Mountains. Gold has been found in the nearby mines and in the Crag Mountains, Dusty Crag Mountains.
Golden in their hills.
Exactly, yep, classic setup, right? Attracting a motley crew of miners, prospectors, and outlaws, such as yourselves.
All right.
From the bad twist with your gang, you seek opportunity in the rumors around Dusty Crag Mountains. You are starting off in the Sandstone Springs Saloon. 3 S's. And you are at the bar with your friend, brother, having a drink. And you overhear some chatter. You hear like an old man, and he's kind of just like yelling to some younger folks at a table, right? And they seem to, kind of just be ignoring him. And you hear one of the younger guys is just like, come on, man, we've heard enough, Jenkins. And then you hear this Jenkins character, and he's just like, no, I swear, he took it. My whole map, he took it. It was a good map. And you kind of just hear them talking back and forth. Jenkins explains to them that there's old Black Hat McCoy took his treasure map. Yep, I know.
Dirty black hats.
Yeah, so eventually, the younger guys finally just get up and they're like, it's enough. We've heard enough, Jenkins. And they get up off the table and leave out the saloon doors.
Okay.
So what are Rick and Rodney? I'm really glad you wrote their names there. That's helpful for me. What are Rick and Rodney doing at this bar?
Well, Rick's definitely trying to figure out a way to make some more money and do it on the low. But Rodney's getting drunk.
Sounds about right. So this conversation catches the ear of Rick then, and you're going to feel and sense some real opportunity here. Like, what's up with this? Old man Jenkins just kind of walks up to the bar, and actually sits right next to Rick.
Okay.
And he's like, bartender, come on, hook me up. So the bartender comes over, and, so he's just kind of like murmuring to himself. He's like, I can't believe Black Hat. I can't do anything about it. I'm old as dirt. I'm old as the Dusty Crag Mountains themselves,
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you do with that?
Are the Black Hats gang affiliated in any way that we need to be trepidatious about?
Yes, you've definitely heard rumors about the Black Hats on your way into this town. They are also a bit of a gang that you've not necessarily had run-ins with, but you've heard of and you've been aware of through your own gang affiliation. And they're just kind of rascals,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Turds. The leader is McCoy, Black Hat McCoy.
Black Hat McCoy.
Yep. So that's what you know.
So Rick could probably look at old man Jenkins and ask, Tell me what you know about these Black Hats. Where are they at? What do they do? Why?
Well, let me tell you. And he kind of goes on to elaborate that. So Jenkins was on his way kind of like checking out the Dusty Crag Mountains, right?
Yeah.
Looking at him, he's like, I got this cool map. I found it's actually an heirloom that was given to him by his dad. So it's like a really old map. And so he basically says that when he went to kind of check out the Dusty Crag Mountains, which is where this treasure map is leading to, he was ambushed by a group of bandits that he found out was the Black Hats. And Mr. McCoy basically just kind of like, all right, old man, hand us your stuff, plain and simple. And Jenkins is like, no, I can't let go of the map. It's an heirloom. It's important. And he's like, well, I better take that then. And just kind of, scoops it up from him. So then Jenkins, they basically just left him there. He hardly had enough energy to get back on his horse and ride into town. Okay. And Black Hat McCoy and his little posse are... Jenkins describes that he's seen them hide out at a specific camp area just on, like, the other side of where they beat him up, basically.
Okay.
So, like, they got a camp not far from the mountains. So, that's pretty much what he gives it. He's just like, that's all I know, that's all I can do, but I'm too old to do anything about it. He's like, but if you, or anyone else, but especially you, were to get this treasure map and bring the treasure to me, I will happily give you the lump sum of it.
Okay.
It's like, I just need enough to keep getting by without, without worry.
And, you say they're just over that ridge?
Yeah.
Just around the hill?
Not far out of town. No.
All right. They'd probably knock Rodney over and be like, hey, there's a group over there. We gotta check out what they're doing.
Rodney, of course, like half drunk at this point, right?
Yeah. Rodney would just, okay, Rick, let's go.
All right, perfect.
And honestly, just walking out of the saloon, take a look around and just see the area, how big the town is, and if there's anything like that would point me in the right direction, or maybe somebody who might be able to help me out for that way.
Very good. Get you to lay the land a little bit, because you are new to this area.
Yeah.
Real quick, we'll have either both Rick and Rodney, or just Rick or whoever, roll a mental check to see if they can assess the area, find someone that can help them, point them the right direction, things like that.
I'll do it for both of them.
Perfect.
6 and an 8.
All right.
And 0 for mental for both of them.
Okay, so straight rolls, 6 and 8. Okay. Yeah. They look around for a while. There is not a lot of folks on the street right now. You gather that a lot of them are in the saloon.
Okay.
But everyone at the saloon is... You don't see any friendly faces there, and you're like, I'm not even going to try with these guys, especially with, like, word of Black Hat McCoy around and things like that. Like, you can judge that now's maybe not the best time to talk to people. Okay. So you make your way out. You don't really see much direction, except for... Jenkins, annoyingly, still talking to you. Well, he begins re-talking to you at this point, and he's, kind of follows you out the door, and he's like, yep, just right over there, and just, like, really gives you just enough to go on.
I was kind of thinking, like, maybe there'd be any carts or horses to take over, or maybe we could rent, or even have somebody be a decoy for us.
Okay, sure. I'm sure that this town, now booming, one of the first places set up is going to be a stable. So I'm sure that you could find a stable and maybe talk your way into getting a deal there or something.
Okay, definitely. I want to try to make my way over to the stable.
Okay, sounds good. So you will make your way to the stable?
Yes. Rick would go up to the stable more or less alone, have Rodney hang back for a little bit.
Okay, you see one guy with a pitchfork, kind of like doing a little bit of like a scoop and moving hay and things like that towards corners of the stable, getting food ready, and the stable's ready for several horses that he has there. And you do also see a section kind of like along the stable with just like stagecoach style wagons, and a couple other simple wagons and things like that too.
Okay.
And he seems just kind of busy, sweating. You hear him kind of like grumbling a little bit to himself.
Rick would try to get his attention and kind of kind of in like a city slicker kind of way, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to talk fast and see what he's all about.
Smart. Okay. Okay, so you are going to get his attention. Go ahead and roll another mental check then.
Sure. 8.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Consistent. But you are going to get his attention.
Okay.
Basically, he's going to turn around and address you, and he's just be like, "Oh, geez, I didn't even see there." You kind of, and you kind of like stumble over a couple of your words, but he's still like, "Whoa, hold on. What are you saying? What can I do for you?"
I'm just seeing how much your horses are. Where's the carriage and how's it going? Where are the carriages going and how do I get there?
Okay. Oh, yeah, sure. And he'll kind of like talk to you for a sec. He's like, "I got tons of stuff right here. You got money on you?"
Oh, I mean, I got a little bit, but that's also dependent on where we're going.
Fair enough. Well, I got tons of wagons here. These ones are set for, and he kind of like, talks through which wagons are good for which areas and everything else. And basically, I'm going to say you already have a horse, probably. You and Rodney both, I imagine, already have a horse.
Sure.
And he's basically just like, advertises this one wagon for you. He's like, "Oh, you're going to the Dusty Crag area, huh? Okay, well, this can get you there and carry a decent load, nothing crazy. And it seems decently in your means of like what you can afford for this, and especially if the whole thing pans out."
Okay. Well, is anyone heading off that way that we might be able to accompany them?
Okay, I see what you're saying. He mentions that there is a small group of German immigrants that are clueless but excited to go and check out the Dusty Crag area, and they're going to try their hand at mining. But that's about it.
Okay.
He's like, they'll be leaving in the morning, kind of thing. So
the Dusty Crag?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Where are you going?
All right, Rick. Rick would probably end up going back to Rodney, just tell him everything that's going on, and he'd say, "All right, Rodney, we got to leave in the morning. You know why I don't make you come up with me? Just in case things go sour, you got to bail us out."
Just makes sense.
Yeah.
I appreciate that info as well.
So I guess we're just going to make up camp, and especially with our 2 horses.
Yeah.
Probably on the outskirts of town if we got it, but if there's a little bit of money, we might head back to the saloon until it gets dark.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure you've got a little bit of spending cash you were able to nab from the gang before you abandoned them. Or they abandoned you. So yeah, you can definitely, you could even go as far as spending the night at the saloon. But at that point, you're pushing it on your funds, so you're like, but you could do it.
Rodney always figures it out.
Perfect. Okay, so then you are taking off in the morning. Is that the goal?
Yeah, after the Germans.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
But not with?
We'd like to stay back behind them to get a little bit of a lay of the land.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, good. Okay, cool.
90 degrees tomorrow.
It's like 3 days in a row. It's impressive.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Okay, so you guys get your means and everything set together, and you sleep. You wake up in the morning feeling excited and ambitious. You've got your cart ready from the stable, and you're actually watching like the group of German immigrants. You see them kind of like readying their stuff and then making their way towards the Dusty Crag Mountains.
Okay.
So you've got a moment there to like finish getting everything ready, and you're kind of just like saddled up, ready to go. As soon as they get the appropriate distance, and you're like, this is the time to go, kind of thing.
Yeah. Let them get just out of sight.
Perfect. All right. Oh, man, my leg. All right. So you let them get just out of sight so that you are able to kind of let them do the leading for you in a sense. Yeah. Maintaining your distance safely. And then you embark on your journey as well.
Absolutely.
So you are making your way, and you see, as you're making your way out of town, you get a decent ways from town, and it gets to the point that on some of like the ridges around you, you're kind of like riding through the path that's carved out through a valley-like area. And you see on some of the ridges around you, like very far distant, you see a few silhouettes moving on top of the ridges here and there that seem to be folks mounted on horseback. And you catch them enough times that you can tell that it's the same group and they're moving the same direction as you and the immigrant party in front of you.
Okay. Me and Rodney would try to be easy about our noise. I would definitely... Rick would probably look at Rodney and be like, hey, shut up. All right. Saddle your horses and let's go. Make sure they got the sacks on their faces for, like, feeding to make them quiet.
Hey, there you go. Hush them. That's smart.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, they... Cool. So, you're going to continue on the path for a short while. And eventually, you're going to see an uncomfortable lack of the figures for a while, and then you see them kind of like much closer, not even on the ridge at this point, to the point that you can almost make out details about them.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a small group of, seems to be 4 riders, that are riding pretty distantly off the path, and like a bit ahead of you as well. And actually, go ahead and make another mental check.
Sure.
To see if you can assess exactly what's going on with them. Exactly what they're planning.
9.
Okay. It's better than 8.
They are German. Well, they are German.
Right. So, you see that they are, like I said, riding at a decent distance, and they seem to be kind of just like scouting, maybe even uncomfortably, like almost like stalking the party of immigrants moving ahead of you.
Okay.
But they're just doing that for a while. Until eventually, you see them kind of like communicate to each other a little bit here and there, and then they regroup and like kind of just like go off to the side and are just kind of like out of sight for a while. Are you doing anything with that? Are you changing your course or anything like that? I mean, there really is, I say changing your course, but there's like a path, generally speaking. And you see that the immigrants didn't stop moving. It's as if they didn't notice or just ignored the whole situation.
I would probably follow the immigrants and try to take notice if the shadows are looking at me or them.
Okay.
And probably try to get a closer look at what the immigrants look like now. Just
Okay.
Since I've been following them for quite a while.
That sounds good. So you through bits and pieces you've gathered as you're traveling that it seems to be that the wagon with all the immigrants has more people in the wagon than you realized when they first launched. Okay, so there's like a decent little family there. There's probably like 6 people in this wagon.
Okay.
And there is at least 2 adults. You can tell that. And maybe more.
Okay. Well, I guess me and Rodney would try to ride up on them, see if we can talk to one of the adults.
Okay, sounds good. So, you ride up close enough that you could kind of strike a conversation over the path a bit. And
how you doing, folks?
They basically just like, they kind of look at you, and then they look kind of nervous, but also, I don't know, kind of like blissfully unaware at the same time. They're just like, oh, we don't know these people, you know? But, you know, whatever. And then they say a few things in German. You catch, like, Guten Tag, you know, some of the standard, like, greetings. And then they say a few more things that you're like, you know, no idea.
Okay. So I can't even really understand them. I guess I'd try to... That's tough. I guess I'd just wave them off. You know, just say, just a kind greeting, passing by, and then me and Rodney would ride off in the distance just ahead of them.
Okay.
To make it look like we're not following them anymore.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Cool. So you do exactly that. A short while passes before you see the same group of figures you've seen earlier. Mm-hmm. And they are they kind of wait till there's like one of the passes in the cliffs next to you, so that they could close a gap more easily, and you see them kind of abruptly come from, not like right next to you or anything, but closer than they've been so far. You see them kind of like quickly like come out of one of the mountain passes and begin traveling alongside you, but like at a distance.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you see 4 of them still on horseback, and they seem to be like at this point aggressively approaching the path that you're also traveling on.
Okay.
What are you doing with that? Anything? Just waiting to see.
Well, Rick's always gonna use his words, so he's gonna say, "How you doing, fella?"
Okay. So they do get close enough that, and they're like, there's one especially that's just like aggressively approaching the path until they eventually kind of like meet up with you, like come alongside your cart, where they finally slow down to match the pace of the wagon, and you greet them, and he's basically just gonna be like, "Oh, pretty good, pretty good. You guys just, where you headed?"
Wherever you're going, buddy.
"Oh, all right. Well, you see, I was just, we were just going along this path here until there was a cart with, he kind of like looks to the rest of the group, and he's like, a cart that looks pretty good, you know?"
So do me and Rodney have a cart?
I made the assumption you did, yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're all good. Well, you wouldn't like our cart. There's really nothing in it until I hop in it for sleeping.
Fair enough. Go ahead and make a mental check.
Sure.
And technically, I guess this will be the one that I contest, sort of.
Okay. And it's an 18 for a mental check.
Nice. That looks low. 12. Okay, so yeah. So, he's gonna kind of like look at the both of you, and at this point, yeah, I mean, if you weren't already uneasy, they slow down to the point that they are like literally like just looking at your cart. They're literally just like riding alongside you and slowly just like inspecting your whole cart. Doesn't leave a good feeling. Until eventually that same guy that's been talking is just like, "Man, I don't know. This is it's not much, but you see, there's 2 of you and 4 of us. So I think maybe we'd just be more suited for a cart. You know, we want to help your neighbor."
Well, the way I see it, fella, there could be 6 of us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Man, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
happy,
good.
buddy.
I like that. That's kind of fun. Go ahead and make another mental check.
Okay, sure. I totally should have put anything in mental.
How'd you do?
7.
6.
Wow.
That's awesome. All right, so he's gonna kind of like look back at the rest of the crew, and he's just like, "All right, well, I mean, maybe we can consider that. Where are you actually headed?"
Fella, like I said, we ain't going nowhere but home, and I'm still looking for where that's at.
Okay, I get you. You're roamers, huh?
That's right. You ever heard of the ricocheted riots?
Yeah, I think I've heard of them, yeah.
Yeah, just a couple towns over. We had to clear a few those ruffians out of our path. Figured maybe we could find a new place to hang our hat.
Very cool. That's fun. All right. He's gonna be like, "Oh, really? You know, you ever heard of, I mean, it sounds like, you're not too unfamiliar with the gang life."
We've been around the block once or twice. And Rodney knows to have the straightest face in the world right now.
That's awesome. All right. He's just gonna be like, "Man, all right. Well, you ever heard of the black hats?"
Yeah, I think I heard some old coot hollering about that in town. What's it all about?
Well, I mean, we ain't very fond of the Ricochet gang either, so I don't our leader, Black Hat McCoy. His first name's Black Hat. That's why we're all named it after him.
Don't tell me his hat's red.
No. No. In fact, since you mentioned it, you notice that all of these riders have pristinely clean black hats right now that they're wearing.
Okay.
It's like unrealistic how clean their hats are.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know, Black Hat McCoy, he's always looking for, trustworthy folks.
I'm always looking for a new hat. And I just tip my dirty brown hat and I say, he uses sprucing up.
And she'd be like, yeah, that thing's disgusting, man. Also, black's where it's at, I don't know.
Isn't that hot sometimes?
Yes. It is incredibly hot. I'm sweating so bad under here.
Yeah. That's all I need to hear, fella.
You hear like a murmur from the other three, and it's like, it's so hot. It's like, I can't even see past all my sweat.
Get 2 sizes up, it shrinks.
Exactly. That's awesome. All right. Basically, he's going to be like, you know what? How about we ride alongside you? And if you don't have much of a destination, I could maybe show you to perhaps a home.
That sounds good to me. Let's go wherever we can go. If you find that you need some respite, hop in the back.
All right. Thanks, friend. And he kind of like looks back and he's like, all right, boys, we're just sticking with him for now, And they just kind of ride alongside you at this point.
Okay, cool.
They seem much less hostile.
Nice. Off to the Black Hats.
Yeah. Possibly leading you right to them. So you continue on your way for a while until eventually the same guy that spoke up earlier is basically just going to be like, all right, I need to take a swift turn up here, just kind of around this couple of brush piles. That's our marker, the brush piles.
All right.
And then our camp's just right there.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah. So eventually, before long, you follow his direction until you come upon a relatively small camp, nothing too crazy. And you see a few tents set up and like a little area for washing and, just a small little encampment, nothing crazy.
Okay.
And he just kind of like leads you guys right into their camp.
Nice. Is it like, what like time of day is it? Is it getting to be like dark? Is it just like midday, high noon?
Right, yeah. It's high noon. We'll say it's like around 5. Like it's evening at this point.
Okay.
Not a whole lot of day left.
Nice.
And you see one lady come out wearing like kind of a fancy dress and like crazy big hair, blonde, and she's just like, well, howdy, who are these folks? Kind of talking to the guy that brought you in.
Mm.
And he'll respond and be like, well, we found them, they got a nice cart, and they're looking for, they're not strangers to the gang life, and I thought maybe Black Hat McCoy might be interested in them. And she's going to be like, that's a terrible idea. You remember what happened to the last ones he brought in? And they kind of just like, leave me alone, Bonnie. And then, she goes on her way.
Mm. Well, I'll inquire about the previous applicants.
Okay. Yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, don't mind Bonnie. She thinks that just because I brought 2 people in before, and just because Black Hat McCoy, took their heads off with his sawn off, she thinks that's gonna happen to everybody, but I don't think so. You guys seem promising.
Sounds like those people are just bad people. I mean, we know how to talk around here. Isn't that right, Rodney?
Completely stumped. Yeah, that's awesome. He's like, well, that's good. Here, I'll go. I'll go get him. And then you see Bonnie come out of another tent, and behind Bonnie comes another gentleman. It's just like super tall, and like crazy buff, like super Dorito body. Okay.
Okay.
And he's wearing just like full leather chaps, and he's just like comes out. He's got the biggest 10-gallon black hat you've ever seen. And, steps out and he's just like, what is this I hear about? You bringing people in again, Ronnie? And, they kind of have a few words until eventually Ronnie's kind of just like quiet. And then you gather this is possibly
Well, Rick's definitely gonna cut in if he gets a second to try to alleviate the situation. He's gonna tip his hat to Mr. Black Hat, say, please do apologize for Ronnie. Please do apologize. It's not Ronnie's fault that he introduced myself, Rick, and Rodney to the gang. I just was looking for a little bit of work on my way, and I figured I might be able to help.
All right. He's gonna be like, well, hey, that's all fine and dandy, but I gotta ask you one question first.
Yes, sir.
Bonnie said you were in a gang before. What gang was it?
The goddamn Ricochet Riots.
Oh, I hate those guys.
I hate them too.
How could you ever have ridden with them?
It was ridiculous. And those MFers stole my name. I'm the one who rightfully gave them their name, and they stole it right from me.
And you see him kind of like twitch for a second, and he's just like, You're Ricochet?
I'm his son. Rick Ricochet.
I'm his son. I'm his son. All right. Good. He's gonna be like, you are living descendant of the Rick Ricochet?
Yes, sir. And I can even show you how we got the name. And if you'd like, I'll even teach you once.
Looks kind of like weirdly excited, and everyone else around the camp is just kind of like what's going on, kind of thing. Everyone's just confused. Till eventually he kind of like comes up to you, and he's like, kind of like arm around you, arm on the shoulder, and he's just like, hey, that sounds really cool. I got some old cans in the back. If you wanna maybe like show me, how it's done.
I love shooting cans. And then I'm gonna like pull up my trench coat to show 4 revolvers.
Oh,
let's do it.
That's awesome. All right, and he kind of just like excitedly, he's like, hot dog, and he kind of walks you over.
Rodney's coming.
Completely stoic. All right, great. And you kind of hear, as you're going, you hear Ronnie in the background. He's just like, what just happened? That was the strangest thing. Kind of just walking away. Okay, so he brings you over, and you see he stops midway. He's like, oh wait, hang on, I gotta get my piece. And he walks in. He like opens up his camp for a second, and swiftly you see a small little bedroll area, and you see like a little table with some candles and things like that, and then like one chest by the bedroll that has a very nice but old looking parchment just kind of like rolled up on it.
Nice, very nice.
So that's what you see.
Rick never forgets.
Yeah, there you go. So so he's gonna come out, and he's got this just like big old sawn off double barrel shotgun.
No matter what it looks like, Rick's gonna go, that's a beaut right there.
He's like, oh dang, you really think so? All right, well, let me show you what I can do with it. You show me what you do with yours, and we're gonna have a good time. Dang. All right.
So Rick's gonna definitely head up to the shooting range because this is his thing, and he's gonna pull out the first and second revolver in the exact same hand.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
And then
he's got some cans set up on like a small like brush cactus thing. He's got like a couple of cans like skewered onto it.
Okay.
And he's like that right there. That's my shooting dummy. He like puts them on there like an excited kid and runs back to him as you're doing that.
Very nice. So I've got this one here and the second one in my hand. So I flip the second one up and I grab the third one out and flip that too. While I've got 2 in the air, I've got the other one in my holster, and this is when it just starts going. We've got 4 in the air, just flipping, just juggling, right? And so when I finally get a firm hold on one of them, 1 can falls. Finally get a hold on another one, 1 hand falls. Like 3 or 4 cans fall just perfectly, one right after another. That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, that's awesome. That's gonna maybe take some checks. So, in this instance, I'll actually just have you roll. I'll have you roll for every can. So roll with like your like it's an attack, essentially.
Okay. And he uses fate more or less as his ricochet. So
Okay. I get you.
He's using a little bit of luck and a little bit of attack power here.
Very cool. I like that.
So just straight roll.
Yeah, we'll start with the can and go ahead and add all your attack stuff, which is fate and your offense.
27.
Oh, let's go.
The very
the
first can.
Yeah, so you're juggling them. The first one lands in your hand. He doesn't even see it land in your hand before the can is flying off the cactus. And you hear him gasp, and he's just like, "Whoa! I didn't even. How'd you do that?" You know? Go ahead and roll for the next can.
Definitely. 23, 24.
Okay, nice. Same deal. As soon as you grab onto another one, another can goes flying off the cactus.
Definitely.
And the last one,
off of a different hand too. So.
Right,
You know?
right, exactly. He's like, "All your guns were in the air that time. How'd you do?" And go ahead and roll for the last one.
Oh, dang it. 10.
10 is just enough, actually. So,
Okay.
So, all three cans. This one you kind of just like. It's almost cooler because the first two blast off the cactus, and the last one, you like kind of like quit juggling, and as soon as you catch the first pistol to stop juggling, you shoot, and it like hardly grazes the can, but enough to like move it off the needle a little bit.
Just right through the tab, and then it...
Yeah, exactly. And it just kind of like sits there for a second, and Black Hat McCoy's gonna look at you and be like, "Ah, oh, you almost got." And then he hears it hits the ground, and he looks over and he's just like, "Incredible! You are the son of the Ricochet. I can't believe it. In the flesh."
Just stacking my pistols back away.
All right, he's gonna be like, "Man, you're not gonna believe this. I got this thing to show you, right? So the other day I was driving through the valley. There was this old guy. He was super old. He sucks. And
Dang old people.
the worst. And then, so me and my boys, we went over there. We tackled this old guy off his horse. Easy, quick. You know, just a horse transfer. You just hold X when you get close enough."
I've done the same. All you gotta do the same thing with the Banshees in Halo.
Yeah, exactly, just like that. And he definitely tells you about Old Man Jenkins and how he took this old parchment off of him. And he's just like, "It's a map that looks like it's supposed to be, you know, ancient. It's got some fancy markings on it. I think it tells of a treasure in the Dusty Crag Mountains."
Is that why y'all are here?
"Yeah, that's why we made camp here. And we heard, well, kind of, we heard that, you know, there was gold in the hills."
And them their hills?
Right, yeah. But then we came upon this, and this might be even better. We might not even have to work for this one as long as we can find it.
My mouth's been dry all day, but now I'm drooling.
We should play more Wild West games.
It is fun.
Okay. So basically, he's just gonna be like, come check this thing out. And he's gonna bring you right over to his little tent. And the guy seems to just be completely admiring you. He's like, "I can't believe this." And he just like brings you right in. He's like, "Yeah, come on in." And he just brings you right in the tent, picks up the parchment you've seen on the chest, and he's like, "Here it is. This is it right here." Opens it up, and you see a nice little treasure map.
Nice.
And you gather this is definitely the one. So, it seems to give a generally decent area and even some instructions that are written in some weird... I guess you'd kind of recognize it. They seem to be written in a lot of, like, the natives' pictoglyphs and things like that.
Okay. Would Rick be able to roll maybe a little bit of an intelligence check of some sorts to, like, think of, like, oh, that symbol. I know that symbol.
Right?
You know?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and give it a shot.
Okay. With my mental?
Yes.
5.
All right. It's tough. There's a few things you can make out, but it's really just enough to be like, yeah, it's a treasure map. It's some sort of map that marks treasures, literally speaking.
That's the writing them natives were doing.
yeah, exactly. He's like, "Yeah, I thought that too, but I really wasn't sure because I can't even read English. So I thought I've seen some pictures and I might have a better chance with this, but I can't figure it out."
Have you seen any of the natives in the area?
No, not since we've been here. We've only been here a couple weeks.
Okay, good. Because if you did, they're a powerful force to be reckoned with. I almost wouldn't even want to deal with them over the ricochets.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Thankfully, I've never encountered any of the groups of savages we hear about out here, so that's good.
Rick's gonna say, I think you got something special here. If you need help finding it, let me know. If you need help working it, let me know. I recognize that, and that symbol right there, and I swear I'll put them together.
He seems intrigued right at the gate. He's like, I would be honored to work with Son of the Ricochet to unravel this mystery.
And I'd be honored to hang a new hat. And I got a like tattered brown, just a bad hat.
I like that. All right, you see his eyes kind of light up, and he's just like, really? All right, here, hang on just a sec. And he runs out of his tent, and you see him, you kind of like watch where he's going. You see him run over to a chest right next to like a fire pit that is more or less like the gathering area of the camp, right? And there's a big chest over there. And he runs over there, opens the chest, and you see him just like throwing hats. Just throwing a bunch of black hats. You hear Ronnie in the background, and he's like, "You're gonna get them all dirty!" And he's like, "It doesn't matter, I gotta find the best one!" And eventually he pulls out a hat. That's just like pristine, nice, black Western hat.
Perfect.
And runs back over to his own tent. Childlike ambition. And just like hands you this hat. He's like, "Here it is." Dusts it off. And he's like, "There it is, man. That's the best one I can offer you."
And plop it right on. Even if it don't fit, I say it's like a glove.
Perfect. He's like, "All right. Well, how about this? How about as soon as we wake up, as soon as the sun's up, we get up, we get our stuff, and we head to figure this thing out.
First light?
First light.
Let's do it."
All right. Then he's like, "I don't have a place for you to sleep. I'm really sorry."
And we got a cart.
All right, perfect. That's great. I'll grab a tarp. Are you doing anything else? He kind of like leaves you be at this point. He's like, you can go ahead and get your stuff set up right now.
Rick and Rodney are gonna just head off to the, I guess the outskirts of the camp, just wherever we could set up shop, and probably have a little talk. And Rodney says, "Or are we getting involved in gang things again?" And then Rick's gonna say, "It's not the same. It's not the same. I swear. We're only here for a little bit. Don't worry about it." Then Rodney's not gonna be too happy about that.
Yeah.
He says something to the effect of, "We don't need this life anymore." And Rick says, I know. But if we didn't do something, they would have got them Germans."
It's true.
Then Rodney just heads into the covered wagon, and he goes for his sleep. But Rick's going to stay up late tonight.
All right. What is Rick doing?
Keeping an eye out of the camp, the goings on, and everything about it. He's also going to try to take note of the Black Hat leader and see how often and how late he likes to stay up.
All right.
But no real interactions, more or less, unless they're forced on him.
I get you. So he's kind of just keeping an eye out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because Rick likes to see everything.
Right. That makes sense. All right. Well, without trying too hard, go ahead and make either I guess maybe just like a straight roll or mental, which I think ends up being the same.
Sure.
Okay.
19.
Hey, there it is. Okay. You notice that at one point you see like the whole camp. There's like a little bit of a fire going. There's some people around the fire, but basically the whole camp is like turning in for the night.
Yeah.
And once everyone has turned in for the night, the fire's put out, you can just make out the silhouette of, you can like tell by the way he walks, it's Ronnie, okay? You can just make out his silhouette, and he kind of like walks towards the middle of camp for a sec, and just kind of like looks around, and then takes a few steps like further towards where you are currently resting, and just kind of like looks. You see him like looking out in your direction, and just kind of like stands there and waits for a while before he turns into the tent of McCoy, and you see him kind of like open up his tent and come in, and then there's like a little bit of light, it's like a candle light or something like that, and you can see the silhouette of them like talking, seemingly in like a hushed manner, and then eventually the candlelight goes out and Ronnie leaves and goes back to his own tent.
Okay. Does Ronnie have like any horses or like a girlfriend or anything, or is like just Ronnie out there all by himself? Does he got a tent or like what's his situation?
Right, sure. So you'll see him go back into his own tent, and there's like all the horses are kind of tied up around the same couple posts and like feeding areas and things. But you see the horse that he was riding, and then several others that are maybe just like camp property or property of individuals from the camp, So you gather that he probably has a horse, and he seems to be alone in his own tent.
Okay. I kind of want to try to figure out which one's his horse.
Okay. You can recall the one that he was riding. You would have rode with him technically, or like next to him for a little while, so I imagine you could recall it if you've seen it.
Okay. So Rick has a plan. He wants to try to steal the map away from the Black Hat. He wants to assassinate Rodney.
Ronnie?
Ronnie, yeah.
All right. He wants to assassinate his brother.
Yeah, right. He wants to assassinate Ronnie, strap his body to his horse, and just send it off straight into the distance. The map's gone, so's Ronnie.
Whoa! All right, okay. Sounds good. You do... I would say that, though not impossible, it might be a little bit more difficult to track this treasure down without the map. But you could definitely try to do all that. And like I said, it wouldn't be impossible. It just might be a little more difficult.
Okay.
If the whole thing works out, of course.
I think I would want to do it because then me and Rodney would just be like, we're going to go get that guy. And then like obviously go try and find the treasure.
Cool. Very good. All right. That's fun. Cool. So how do you do this then? Well, how's this look?
Nothing will start until we try to get the map. So okay. Rick needs to wait until he knows Mr. Black Hat's sleeping. And he just needs to get the map. In and out. Lickety split.
Sounds good. Quite a while passes. You let kind of like, you're hatching your plan, you're thinking it all over. Half an hour passes, an hour passes. And you haven't heard movement or seen any movement for at least an hour. And you're like, well, I guess, as good a time as ever kind of deal.
Okay.
And you make your way over to his tent. You don't see any lights anywhere. There's the closest thing to lights is there's like ambers in the fire, and it's like really nothing,
Okay.
So you make your way to his tent, and you kind of just like, assess it, right? Go ahead and make another mental check to see if you can hear what's going on in there.
Would I be able to use fate?
Oh, sure, yeah. I get it.
17.
Okay, so you hear like a big snore. You're just like a, and then on the exhale, it's just like, I can't believe I met the Ricochet. And you're like, yeah, okay, he's sleeping. Now what?
I want to sneak in his tent. Hopefully the map's still like on the table from like when he was talking to Ronnie or something. And then like, I'm going to just snatch that, get in, get out.
Okay. Sounds good. So, this is going to be fun. All right. So you're going to head in there. You kind of like sneakily make your way to the, you see the map on the small table he has set up in his tent. And it's kind of like half open. Go ahead and make some kind of check. How would you justify any stat? The default, I suppose, is physical or some kind of like just like being stealthy.
Okay. I would try and go for fate because obviously that's my best stat, but like
right.
Rick relies on a lot of luck. He's a chancy guy and he's always taking them, you know what I mean? So like
sounds good.
Somehow it just works out for Rick.
You know what? I will allow the whole situation where he is dreaming to be I'll allow this to be like a fate check where you're like in a weird way, you're technically like distracting him in his dreams. So we'll make it a fate check.
Why not?
How'd you do?
Oh, whoa. 6.
Uh-oh. You rolled 14.
Ooh.
So you're going to kind of sneak your way in there. And it just so happens you see, as you're like sneaking across, you hear like a weird like cloth scratching sound. And you kind of look over and you see a scorpion literally like crawling up the Black Hat McCoy's like blankets, just like crawling up his chest, going straight for his face. What do you do, if anything? It won't be long before it's moving pretty quick actually, though. It won't be long before it gets on him, possibly to the point that he feels it. It's a big scorpion.
It must be.
Yeah. It's big, ironically as black as the hat that he's still wearing in his sleep.
I'm going for the map again. That scorpion's either his pet or going to do my job for me.
Okay. You can hope, right? You never know.
Seriously.
Sounds good.
So, as long as I have a quick escape route, I'm not going to do this, like, stealthily anymore because I'm not the thing that's going to be his attention or the ire of his attention, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, there's a scorpion on your chest, you're not really going to notice that weird shadow in the corner.
Fair enough. Okay. So, you kind of like take the chance, you see the thing moving, and you're like, okay, here we go, I gotta go. And you kind of like quickly reach toward the map and grab a hold of it. And as soon as you've got it in your hand, you turn around and you you hear a muffled snore as a muffled snore and then like a cough and like spitting noises. And you see Black Hat McCoy springs up out of his bed and spits this big scorpion out of his mouth. And he's just like, you just see him kind of just like freaking out. He's just like, what is that? Go ahead and make another fate check.
Hopefully I'm out by the time he realizes it. 15?
6. All right. So he's quickly fumbling about, and he actually, in his fumbling, he bumps like the main support pole of his tent. And like he has to like quickly like stop and like grab the pole, and in all the mayhem you manage to slip out of his tent.
Very nice.
And he's making a whole lot of racket, and you hear some racket from like around the camp.
I'm just heading back quickly at first, but a mosey once I get close to my camp.
Okay, that makes sense. So smart. Golly. Okay. Very cool. So okay, the rest of the camp makes some noise, and eventually you hear a few people kind of like open their tents and even like step out, and they're just like, "Hey, what's going on? What is that?" And by this point, you are covering up again, and you are in your little area, and you hear Black Hat McCoy, and basically he's just like, nothing. There was a dang the big rattlesnake, you see, and I kicked my pole trying to kill it, but I killed it. It's dead now. And you kind of just like hear him murmuring back and forth. And then the night settles again.
Nice. So Rick's going to get back to the camp, right? And he's going to wake up Rodney, and he's going to say, Ronnie. He's just going to look at him. And then Rodney's just going to take his blanket off and start getting up.
So cool.
Rodney would happen to have a...
Sorry, I picked Ronnie as a name. It's so close.
No, you're good. Rodney would happen to have a way to... A bandana to, like, the dude's mouth. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, if we don't have to kill this man, that's fine. So we're going to try to, like...
At the very least, gag him hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then... Okay.
Yeah. So, first things first, we're going to make sure he can't talk, and we're going to possibly have a way for him to be tied up, like, really quickly. once he realizes he's like getting gagged. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So like, I don't really know how to do it.
Right?
You know what I mean? So
no, I get you.
I don't know like the procedure here.
All right. Well, let's see.
Like right.
Let's see if I can help you out a little bit.
So,
go ahead and. Oh, go ahead.
I feel like you like. I'm not trying to suffocate him, so you don't use a pillow, but
Right,
like,
sure.
you use your
Trying to
bandana.
gag him at least.
Yeah, so like you don't cause a scene.
Right.
And then you'd probably have like a rope of something to keep his arms down or in, or like I would assume like you'd probably bring them together or something. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. There's ropes all over the place.
Hog tie this man.
West.
I don't know.
Okay. I get you. Yep. So there's ropes all over, and everyone's got. Comparatively now, quite a talent at tying ropes to be, well knotted, if you will.
Cattle wranglers.
Yeah, right. Basically. So you've definitely got. Okay, you can do some of that stuff. Okay, so.
Okay. And Rodney's like a really big, tall, physical guy. That's his thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like he's the muscle.
I get you. Okay, cool. So, are you doing this in the cover of night still?
Yes, Rodney is going to use the rest of night to try to hog tie Ronnie.
Yes. Got it, yes.
Yeah, try to hog tie Ronnie to his horse and then send that horse off to the distance.
Ah, okay, very cool. With the map still or no? Or we're seeing?
No,
Okay,
Rick has
now
the map.
You have it, right. Okay,
Yep.
Sounds good. Very fun, very fun. So, let's do this. So, you wait till like everything's quiet again. Everyone seems to be back asleep for a while. No one's moving. And then Mr. Rodney, okay, so basically he's going to get up and it's funny. I'm like referring to Rick as you and Rodney as he. Whatever.
Rick's the brain, Rodney's the muscle.
Yeah. All right, cool. So Rodney is going to make his way over towards the tent. Is Rick also like they do this together in any way, or just kind of leave it to Rodney and see how it goes?
Nope, this is Rodney's thing. He knows what to do. But like Rodney's moving like Michael Myers does in the movies. You know what I'm saying? Like somehow he's getting closer and you don't know why.
You can't even tell if his legs are moving. It's just like how's he continuing on?
Dude's just on a Roomba.
Hoverboard. All right. Sounds good. So he makes his way over to Ronnie's tent. And he is going to he's going to get there, right? And then so what is Rodney doing from there once he makes it to the tent?
Rodney would sneak in and then hopefully hold his head down to like gag him in a way. Okay. Once that's secure, he's going for his arms.
Okay, yeah,
and
I get you.
Rodney is confident in his ability to overpower most people.
Sounds good to me. Okay, so first and foremost, let's see if you can sneak into his tent without making any ruckus or anything. So go ahead and roll a physical check.
Okay, sure. 23.
Yes. Heck yeah. All right. So very cool. So he's going to sneak in. He kind of just like opens the flap silently, makes his way in, and there is Ronnie, just kind of like sleeping like a baby. So he's gonna do this. He's gonna initiate this thing. So, go ahead and roll an attack roll against Ronnie.
Rodney and Ronnie.
I'm gonna give Ronnie disadvantage because he's asleep.
Okay. So it's an attack roll, right?
Correct.
And so I use my physical and offense, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So it's 16.
Nice. Okay, yeah, you beat him. He's got a natural one.
Nope.
So this is gonna go pretty smooth here. So
for real.
Basically, Rodney is just got this big cloth bandana and literally just like that. It's gonna be weird to kind of just. He's gonna gag him hard
right in there.
Corks that big hole of his face. But literally just kind of like gags him. Ronnie's like fighting. He was like, until eventually Rodney just kind of like knows what he's doing, right? So he's like gagging him and just like punches him once and knocks him right out. Right? He's just silent.
Nice.
And then is swiftly able to hog tie him from there.
Yes.
Like I said, you guys would definitely have the skills to tie knots and things and know how to use ropes, unlike me. And basically, you in a second, Rick is going to see Rodney just walk out with just like Ronnie slung over his shoulder and just kind of walks out. He's like, he looks over at you.
Rick would have taken that as the cue to have at least found
right.
Ronnie's horse.
Yes. Okay, I understand. Okay, so let's do. I'll give you advantage because everyone's asleep, like I said. But go ahead and roll a physical check for Rick to make it to the horse and like get it without disturbing the camp. So, like I said, you got advantage.
Nice. I have advantage, so it's 15.
Okay, nice. All right. So you do manage to find the horse you recognize Ronnie was riding earlier.
Okay.
And you gently untie it and bring it over to Rodney, your brother, and you guys are there. You're ready to rock.
So I'm outfitting the horse with blinders so it can only go straight.
Okay.
Once Ronnie is securely fastened to the horse's saddle, I'm going to put some sort of food in front of its face so that way it chases it.
Classic.
Yes.
All right. Sounds good.
The old cartoon.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds great. So you do exactly that, and you give a mean slap on the rear, or at least enough to coax it, until eventually this horse just takes off and is running, directly out of the camp at this point.
And hopefully Rick would have enough humanity in him to send him to in the direction of the town that we came from.
Oh, okay.
And hopefully not
just completely
to the
heartless,
wastes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nice. Very cool. You guys do that, and there's a hush that falls back over the camp. You nailed it. Made it happen.
Nice. Okay. Rick is going to stash the map in the wagon in some way, like under a floorboard, between something, under something. It's going to be in a very inconspicuous place. He's going to spend the rest of the night trying to find that spot, and that's what they're doing.
Okay, sounds good. That's cool. So, you see a few boards that are laying, you see like a little scrap area. There's like some boards and ropes and things like that in the camp that were unused from whatever. And you take a smaller board that's there, and you see a few basically tools, nails and things. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to very meticulously and silently, use 100 hammer strokes to bring in each nail, just super quietly. And you literally nail a board over the folded map under your wagon. So it's just completely hidden.
Okay. Very nice.
And you're all set. Yeah. Mission accomplished there.
Yes, and we're pretty much just going to wait until sunrise.
All right. So, oh boy. All right. So, basically, as the sun graces over your faces and immediately begins to raise the temperature of the day, you hear Black Hat McCoy, and he kind of gets out of his tent and kind of runs pretty much immediately. He's going to run directly to your wagon, and he's going to be like, hey, a big thing happened, all right? I don't want everyone to hear this, but this is important. Did you know anything about, the map I showed you? Where that ended up?
I just remember those five, still kind of out of it,
right?
Because I would probably have the black hat over my head, just sitting in the front of my wagon, kind of relaxing, but not really sleeping.
Yeah.
So it's I remember the first 6 symbols, so I don't know, something like that.
Right. And he's like, no, the map's gone. He kind of looks around the camp and makes sure no one heard him,
and then just gone.
Yeah, the map is gone. I don't know what to do. So you didn't see it?
In your hands. Who's the first recruit? Who's in charge of this stuff?
Well, me, I guess, really.
I mean, this is not your fault. Whose fault is it?
I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe, so you didn't take it? Literally just asking. He's like, never mind. I of course not. How could the son of the Ricochet betray me? There's no way. And he's gonna be like, I guess I'll go to Ronnie about it and see what happened.
I might get Rick might just get all in a huff and a puff, and he's like, "Who is these hooting and hollering lily livers?" You know, like, who would do this to the black hats?
He's gonna kind of buy it, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm fired up now. I'm gonna go talk to Ronnie." And you see him kind of like quickly like make his way over with his goofy Dorito body, make his way over to Ronnie's tent.
You know, when you say that, I picture like a Dorito bag. It's like a walking bag.
That's hilarious. Barrel chested. Okay, so he's going to he wanders over to Ronnie's tent, opens it up real quick. He's like, "Ronnie, someone!" He looks in there. Ronnie's gone, and he's like, closes the tent, turns around, hobbles back over to you. He's just like, "Ronnie's gone. What does this mean?"
Who's Ronnie?
Oh, right. Ronnie, you know, he was the one that brought you in yesterday.
Oh, you know, he was kind of a dick. I could say it different.
Oh, man, that's awesome. I love it, but yeah, I guess we probably should. That's awesome.
You know, he was kind of a jerk coming in here. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, he can be a jerk, right? But, man, I don't know what to think. The map's gone, Ronnie's gone. What? He never gets out of bed before he's sweating. He's like, well, now what do we do?
We gotta find that lily liver and get this map back.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's the only way, isn't it? All right. Well, saddle up then. Let's go. He seems to be like ready to go. Like he's just like ambitious. So we got to figure it out.
Get the troop. Send them all. Like every direction. Let's get them.
All right. So he actually does round up about like 6 people.
Okay.
And he kind of just like, you know, go find him. Get along, little doggy.
Okay. So if there's 6 people, Rick will suggest, all right, everybody saddle up. Two at a time, partners, let's go. And like, you this way, just directing people, you know what I mean? And then me and Rodney are gonna head off in the same direction, like, partners, let's go.
I like that. As you're doing that, like you're kind of wrapping up, giving your commands, right? Mm-hmm. And McCoy's gonna be like, "Yeah, just listen to everything he's got to say. That is son of the Ricochet." You know, really buying in. So you send a bunch of people off in different directions here and there.
Okay.
And then you yourself.
Yeah, Rick would have pointed Rick and Rodney at least in the direction that he would hopefully have recognized on the map, mm-hmm. or into the ridge deeper.
Okay, I get you.
So like an educated guess from mm-hmm. what he's seen, or at the very least an educated guess from what he can assume.
Okay, sounds good.
So he's hoping he sent himself in the right direction. Maybe even just relying on luck.
Sounds good. I like that. Okay. Black Hat McCoy is going to be like, "I'm coming with you." And he's going to follow you and Rodney.
Okay.
On his own horse. He's just like, trying to move fast. So he's just got just him and his horse. His horse is sweating under the weight of his Dorito body. And basically you guys are just going to make your way towards the Dusty Crag Mountains at this point.
Nice.
So you're going to go on your way for a while until eventually you see, you're seeing a few things as you're passing by this cliff area. And McCoy is basically just like, "Are you sure he's down this way? I mean, he could have gone anyway. It seems weird that, well, actually, maybe he would go straight." And he's kind of like, thinks it all over. He's really just kind of lost. He's at your whim at this point.
The only thing Rodney would be saying is like, "The trail is still hot." You know, like, just as confidently as he can, just like.
That's awesome. That's fun. Go ahead and roll basically a persuasion check using physical.
Sure.
You know what I mean? With his like physical confidence.
4 out of 1.
Okay. So McCoy's kind of just like, I don't know. I guess this is fine. Maybe if we don't find him this way for a while, we'll turn around. You know, kind of. He's half buying it. He's like, whatever. Kind of just nervous.
He says, "I trust Rick, but I don't know about this Rodney."
Yeah, exactly. So, but as you're going, you are beginning to see on some of the cliff walls, you're going to begin to see some pictoglyphs.
Oh, okay. Out of the couple of symbols that I can remember, I would try to recognize a few of them, and I would also try to lead us into more and more dangerous terrain.
All right.
Even if it's off the trail.
Okay, I get you. Let's see what fate gives you in what pictoglyphs you see.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll a fate check.
That was a 1, so I'm going to leave that one alone.
Natural 20.
That's what I like to
There
see.
it is. Okay, that's a good time for it. You recognize a few of the pictoglyphs that seem especially indicative of like valuables, and there's a few you even see that are like that seem to be like depicting like burials and things like that too,
Okay.
and they seem to be linked, and you just like feel that you're going in the right way. You're like, this has got to be it.
Nice.
For the treasure. Not necessarily for Ronnie. But yeah, you're like, man, this is it. This is I remember this. It's like coming back to me now.
Mm-hmm.
And basically you ride a bit further before eventually you see one small like cutout in the cliffside. And it's kind of like up a big dusty hill, so it's not like right next to the path, but you kind of like, it catches your eye, and you see right above it a few more pictoglyphs depicting, again, the same things where it's like images of like some sort of like burial ceremonies, and then like some treasures and valuables and things like that as well.
Okay.
Seems very promising.
Rick's, after we've seen some stuff for a while, but when I see something ominous, as if like the grave stuff that you were talking about, he would point that out to Black Hat.
Okay.
He would probably be like, "There's them native symbols we was talking about." You know?
He's gonna be like, oh yeah, I mean they're all over the place over here. You think that means anything?
Well, I would point out only the scary ones that I'm able to recognize. So I'd be like, "Yeah, that skull with the snake out of it, that's a," you know, just
Perfect.
telling him what all this stuff means, even if I don't know personally what it is.
I like it. Okay. Very cool. Roll a. We're gonna do a little bit of a contest here. This will be kind of fun. So he's gonna be like, he doesn't know what to think. You're trying to get him to buy this. Be like, this is, this means this, that, and the other, whatever.
Mhm.
See if you can gain his trust a little bit. So I'll let you just do another fate check.
Sure. 22.
8.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. So basically, he's gonna be like, man, all right. So you think there's, I don't know. You think we should check that out then?
Oh, definitely. And I'm just still gonna keep pointing to all the dangerous ones. With like, that's skull in a skull on fire. That's a skull with a snake in it. There, like
There's Medusa over there.
right.
I think that's Zeus. Okay.
And I'd kind of like pointing off in that direction, and I'd say, and I would hope that Rodney would try to reinforce the fact that we're still following a trail, even
yes. Right.
if
Okay.
Mr. McCoy doesn't really believe it.
Okay. You might even put that in part of your last check in crushing him in the contest. So, okay. So let's say he's basically just be like, all right, you know what? Just how about you just lead on? I'm just gonna give you the reins. All right. I'm just here. I'm your backup. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, with ease, you are able to lead Black Hat McCoy to this little outcropping in the cliff, and you get there, you like make your way up this little dusty hill there until you get to this little outcropping, and you immediately see that it is there's just like a little natural bored out cave here in the cliff.
Okay.
And quickly you see inside there are several, just like the ground is like relatively compacted dirt,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting. Like it's not natural that it's like that. And you also see a bunch of just like mounds of dirt here and there, and a bunch of pictoglyphs like all over the place on the inside of this thing.
Okay.
And you recognize this whole situation, and you're like, this is literally like the burial grounds for one of the native civilizations.
Hmm.
And like there are literal depictions of like different kinds of valuables and treasures and here and there, and heirlooms and things like that. There's like literal depictions, almost like descriptions, that are made like in like the pictoglyphs by each burial mound.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that you could gather that these mounds probably have bodies and a whole bunch of valuables in them.
Okay.
So,
My focus would be on the cave. And Rick would probably be like, "Yep, It's in there. I can feel it in my bones. You know.
Yep.
And you know, if there's any like, oh, is it safe to go in there? Like, this is how we check it. And then he just like shoots his gun down the cave like once or twice just to make it ricochet as much as he can. And it's
That's
like,
awesome.
safe.
I like that. That's great. Go ahead and roll a fate check.
Sure.
In your ricochet checking.
17.
Nice. Okay. So I'm not exactly sure how it happens, but you hear like you shoot a few times in there, and you hear the classic, you know, right?
Yes.
Those classic Western ricochet noises.
Like just way longer than it should.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's like in a cave, and it's like, how's it ricocheting that far? Yeah. So,
and then the echo comes.
you notice that one of the bullets that you launched into this cave manages to pierce one of the burial mounds and literally like disturb the dirt just enough to shoot out of it just like this big topaz, and it literally just like sticks out of the mound at this point. And then I don't know. Are you okay? So it's like it makes an audible noise in there, right?
Right.
And
like
you like see
everything is like choo choo choo, and then like bing.
Yeah. It's like a weird glassy sound. And so like, you know, Black Hat McCoy is just like, what was that? That sounded like, I don't know, glass or something. What was that?
And then I look at him and I say, treasure.
Treasure? What? In there?
I told you it was in them hills.
I can't believe it. We really found it? And then, you know, he's kind of like rushing in the cave at this point.
Mm-hmm. And then Rick's going to open fire. Like, every single pistol he's got just ricochet all around the cave, just everything. Just trying to get rid of Black Hat.
Oh, boy. That's fun. That's cool. Okay, this one's going to be kind of, to some degree, a freebie. Phoebe from Friends.
Jeez.
This one's going to be kind of a freebie. So go ahead and roll a fate check. Well, I guess it's an attack roll. So go ahead and roll a full attack roll.
Okay.
And the DC's just going to be... Oh, that's not even fair. I'm going to let him roll with disadvantage. I was going to say the DC will be 10, but that's like literally the average roll for him. So I'll have him roll with disadvantage instead. Wow.
15. 20?
Well, disadvantage would be 19.
Oh.
19 and a 20.
Dang.
Okay, so let's see what happens here. So you let loose, and there's bullets flying everywhere. And there's a point where one bullet kind of like grazes and rips through the coat of Black Hat McCoy.
Oh, not the hat.
Not the hat. But that same bullet, before it does that, Black Hat McCoy's going to look up at you while you're shooting, and one of the bullets that are ricocheting shoots your hat off. And like it like lands down in front of him, and he bends down, and as he bends down, that's when the bullet grazes through his coat. So he like picks up your hat, realizes that maybe you were trying to shoot him just now, you know? He's going to look up and just kind of like look at you. He's just going to be like, what was that for? All right. Let's do this. All right. So go ahead and roll another attack roll real quick.
Sure.
And this one will be fully contested. Adding his
Okay. So,
7.
6 plus a bunch of stuff.
Okay, so you beat me. All right. So basically, it's like, what was that for? You pull up again and quickly shoot, and the bullet goes right through his arm. And basically, he's just gonna be like, "How dare you? I know that was on purpose. I know you did that on purpose. You're too good with those guns to not have you. I know you did it on purpose." And basically, he's going to. Well, what's Rodney doing while this is happening?
He would, he'd probably charge him, if anything. You know what I mean? Just like tackle, beat him to the ground kind of stuff. So.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, go ahead and have Rodney, excuse me. Go ahead and have Rodney attack as well then.
Okay.
We can test it. Defense roll.
Natural 20.
13, you got me there. Okay. Dang, that's big. That's really big.
All right.
Okay.
Can Rodney like actually throw him to the ground and punch? Or
Yeah, for sure. So it's gonna basically be like that first point of damage is gonna be literally Rodney just like spearing him and like slamming him to the ground, and then he just starts like unloading on him.
Nice.
And so let's see, that's 2 hits there technically because it was a crit.
Nice.
Big. Okay, nice. So before finally, Black Hat McCoy is gonna kind of like, just getting beat the heck up. And then he like rolls to his side once and comes back off of his side and literally has like his sawn-off shotgun just like along his side in his coat.
Mm-hmm.
Pulls it up. He's gonna try to shoot Rodney.
Okay.
Attack roll.
12?
15. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
It's 15. Just adding defense, right?
Defense and their
physical.
ability. Yep.
Okay. So then it's 15 and 15.
Ooh, interesting. This has never come up. That's pretty exciting. Man, maybe that's just like a continued struggle or something. That's kind of fun. Okay, so let's say... Man, that's exciting. So he pulls up the shotgun. What does Rodney do in defense to basically not get shot?
Whatever, like... if the shotgun's coming out this way,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? He's gonna, like, slap it upwards.
Okay, cool.
In a way.
Perfect, yeah. So like, on its way up, basically, Rodney's gonna kind of, like, slap the barrel of the gun, and it flies up, like, almost out of his hand.
Yeah.
So he, like, pulls it back, and you hear a loud shot of one of the barrels before he finally, like, pulls it back and is... You know what? We'll just leave it.
Mm-hmm.
No one took damage, technically,
Okay.
which is exciting. Normally it's like, well, someone takes damage no matter what.
For
So
sure.
we'll just say like no one takes damage. That's kind of interesting. So
something that's slightly off track, but it's kind of cool, like slightly related.
Mhm.
Brendan Lee Mulligan,
Mhm.
he has a rule called a fate rule. And if you are trying to do something that's a fate rule, where it's like, I'm trying to stick the axe in the dragon's mouth to stop it. You know what I mean? And, like, it'll either go really good or really bad.
Mhm.
So, like, you roll with advantage, but you take the most extreme roll.
Oh, that's exciting. That's fun.
Yeah, so we could both do that, and, like, whatever, we both have to take the extreme roll.
That's kind of crazy. Interesting. Would we even do it contested, or should I just leave that to you?
Well, I don't know.
Maybe I'll just
Yeah.
leave that. I'll just leave that in your hands. You're the
Okay.
player. I'm gonna make you roll the dice.
So, the thing furthest from 10, straight roll.
That's very fun. All right, sounds good. We'll see what happens.
2.
Oh, buddy. Okay, so
So, in the gun.
just jam your fingers on the gun and just blow your hand off. No. Okay, so basically, what's gonna happen there is, I like the idea of you slapping the gun up either way, though. So you're going to slap the gun up, but it's where he was going to shoot you in the gut, he shoots you like across your shoulder, and you literally. So I guess like Rick is watching and literally see just like hunks of meat just like flying off of Rodney's shoulder. It's rough, bad shot.
Rick's gonna get real mad about that.
Yeah, so we'll say it's 1 point of damage.
Okay.
And I could make it more extreme, but nah, that's all right. Okay.
I mean, he's only got 3.
Right, exactly. So I'll leave it at that. And basically, they're just going to kind of like keep struggling back and forth. What is Rick doing now?
Would you say that they've gotten back up, Rodney and
Yeah, we could. It's kind of fun
Black
to say they're
Hat.
still struggling, but like evenly.
Yeah.
I'd say that either way, Rodney could like get off of him and figure it out.
Yeah. I feel like he probably was blown away at least a little bit
I see what
because
you're
of the shotgun blast. So like
For sure.
maybe
I get that.
Black Hat would be able to get like a little bit back on himself.
Yeah. I can see that.
So Rick would try to ricochet a shot from the cave to Black Hat, hopefully around Rodney in some way. You know what I mean?
Cool. I
So,
see what you're
like,
saying.
I'm trying to hit Black Hat in the back.
Very fun. Okay, sounds great. Go ahead and have Rick roll an attack check.
Definitely.
And he will try to get back at him.
25.
Interesting. I got a 23 and a natural 20.
Dang. I got
But you still beat me. So.
Yeah, I got a 19 but I have the 5 and the. Actually, I did math wrong, but still.
Oh yeah, no worries.
But in my favor though. So
Okay,
it was like
I got you.
26
So it's still more.
Yeah.
Okay, so still higher, even with the natural 20. So sounds good. So basically, the shot is ricocheting around the cave, making all of its classic Western ricochet noises, and then slams into the back of Black Hat McCoy. And at this point, Black Hat McCoy is looking pretty tore up.
Can I say that I also try to shoot his hat off too? With
Yes.
like my bam bam.
Yeah, you don't know how you do it, but absolutely. So like one shot hits him in the back, and another shot somehow like from the front, but not right next to Rodney, shoots his hat right off. And basically he's gonna hold his back and be like, "My hat!" Like, how dare you shoot my hat? He's like almost dead.
It's a real cowboy.
Yeah. What's next for Rodney?
An elbow just right to the head.
Right across the face?
Yeah.
All right. He's feeling risky. He's not even going to try to counterattack at this point, so he's going to just defend.
Okay.
And hopefully negate the damage while not dealing any back.
Sure.
Giving him advantage on his roll. Ooh, wasn't worth it. 10.
I got 21.
Nice. Okay. So, Rodney cracks Black Hat McCoy across the face of the shoulder, and you hear just like a gut-wrenching snap of the bones on his face. And he looks back, and his jaw's all crooked, and he's just like, "How dare you!" And then finally, he's going to, you know what? I feel like he might just kind of like, he's looking really hurt at this point, right?
Right.
So he's going to kind of just like fall on his back, crooked jaw, and just be like, "Hey," he's like, "Wait, hold on, everyone, just wait. Everyone, just wait a second." He's going to be like, how about we just kind of let things settle. You can have whatever's in here, all right? Just let me go.
Rick's gonna say something to the effect of, "I want what you got, but you can't give it." And I'm gonna pick up his hat and put it on my head and point my gun right at him.
Very cool. All right. Out of desperation, he's going to kind of just like take in what you're saying for a second. He's going to be like, "Should have known. Should have never trusted Ricochet. It's very unfortunate." And you see his eyes kind of close for a second, and then he kind of like tries to rapidly pull his shotgun up to shoot you.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. Because it is his turn technically anyways. This is kind of fun.
Okay. 14.
I can't remember. 14. Oh, wait. Just kidding. 19 plus 4. I'm sorry. 23.
Nice.
Okay, so as a last-ditch effort, he's going to pull the shotgun up, but he doesn't have enough energy to aim a good shot at you, so he hits you, but just 1 damage, so nothing crazy. And
Shoots one of the 4 pistols out of my hand.
yeah, basically, yeah. And he's going to be like, 3 too few. Before he, at this point, is going to basically give up and just like, he drops his gun. We'll say he's even out of ammo. It is a two-shot gun, and he's only shot twice. So he's going to kind of just like drop the gun and be like, "Well, seems you've bested me. You can kill me now, unless you want to let me go."
And then Rick's gonna finish the job.
All right.
You know?
Sounds good.
Damn, call me Rick Ricochet for nothing. And obviously we need to loot all of these bodies and
right.
this whole burial ground apparently to get as much treasure as we can. And we're gonna try to bury the body that I just made with the natives burial stuff, but minus the treasure.
I gotcha. So, before too long, you are able to do exactly that. And you wrench out tons of valuables, like tons of stuff that's like gold-plated, lots of gems and jewelry stuff that you know is going to be worth a crap ton. So, like, this is a good haul. You do desecrate many burials to do it, but, it is what it is. So, classic outlaw actions there.
Rodney's good at digging.
Yeah, exactly. But you are able to bury Black Hat McCoy relatively easily in the lump of stirred up dirt. And basically, before long, you can make it back to town. This is all happening pretty early in the morning, still, for that matter. So you would get back to town and thankfully, there's actually a moment where you like cross paths with some of the other black hats, and basically they're just like, when they see you, they're just like, "Well, did you find anything?"
Old black hat caught his trail and he's on him.
Oh, all right. That's great. We'll head that way then. And you see, the few that you talk to, kind of like, bust in that direction.
Yeah, send him in the. I'll even send him in the way of the burial site. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sounds good. So you kind of just like keep sauntering, and eventually you make your way back to Sandstone something Saloon. I really don't remember what it was, but yes. So you make your way there.
I would like to find the old man who got robbed, and I would also like to see if I can find the package that I sent this town, which would happen to be in the form of a man hog tied to a horse.
Right, yes. Okay, that sounds good. So as soon as you saunter into town, right, basically you're going to see what you expect to be the sheriff of this town, or some sort of marshal or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's got a kind of beaten up Ronnie, just kind of like tied to a post of one of the buildings. And he's just kind of like got his arm like against the wall, kind of next to him, just like asking him questions and stuff. And once Ronnie like sees you guys come in, he's gonna be like, "You son of a!" And then the marshal kind of like slaps him. He's like, "Hey, I'm talking to you." And yeah, so he's got him distracted.
Nice.
But you do make your way back to the saloon, where immediately when you come in, you see Old Man Jenkins annoying a group of folks. And he kind of like looks up quickly and sees you, and he's just like, "Oh, I can't believe it! You made it back!" He's like, "Well, did you find it?"
Who are you again? Yeah, we're back, old man.
Wow, incredible! So you found the place then? Is that right?
We found some stuff, and we were able to help some people.
All right, cool. That's great. So did that treasure map, that my pops gave me, help you out at all? And at this, you notice that Old Man Jenkins has, his facial structure is not far off from like the natives of the area.
Nice.
I
would say, surprisingly enough, no, didn't even use it. But, I did happen to find something more valuable.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
All of the stuff there.
That's hilarious. He's like, "Wow, that's great. You mind if I take enough to keep living my sad life? And you can have the rest."
Tell you what, Old Man Jenkins, I give him enough. And then I'm going to go up to the sheriff and say something like, "There's a new sheriff in town, and his name's Rodney." Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
And there's going to be a sizable donation of artifacts and other things to this specific town. And hopefully we can protect them from the incoming Black Hat invasion.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Very good. So, yeah, basically it goes off without a hitch. Simply enough, like at this point, the camera's just fading out. There's some Western music playing, and yeah, exactly. Credits roll, baby.
Yeah, banjo.
Fun. All right. So that was fun. That was our little play test of our simple RPG game we thought up.
Yeah.
That we're thinking about calling something along the lines of like slow your role playing game. Right? SYRPG. It just makes sense.
It does. But we are doing it fast.
Yeah, it's true.
Still though, I like it.
Yeah, not so bad. It's simple. Didn't have to think. Making the game and everything was like 5 minutes, if that.
Yeah, seriously. And we didn't really have to make too much fuss about making a story either. It was just, oh, okay, that could work. And then just make a roll for it. So I think it was really fun.
Yep. From a DM's perspective, I had a few points. Like, it was literally like, there's a saloon. Old Man Jenkins had a map that was stolen from a specific gang. You find the gang, you get the treasure, you come back. Those are the points I had to run the adventure, and it's pretty easy when you don't have to think too hard about running enemies or anything like that. Their stat blocks are incredibly simple, so it's all just like ready to go.
Yeah, totally agree. And I didn't really have too much of a like character concept either. My characters were literally is it To Kill a Mockingbird? Or what is the blank and Lenny for that like classic book that you had to read in school? But my character concepts were off of a classic book that I read in school. I don't really remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's got something to do with like I think Carl and Lenny, and then Lenny's a little bit slow, and Carl ends up taking care of him. It's probably not even Carl, but still.
Yeah, Carl in place.
Yeah, seriously.
If you know what it is, let us know.
Right. I think it's something like To Kill a Mockingbird, but I'm pretty sure that's way off. I haven't read something like that in a while.
Yeah, I can't read, so.
But if you guys thought that was fun, let us know. We'd love to do a lot more of these. And if you want to try it out yourselves, you got to check out this other video. It'll show you just how to play, and we got a PDF down in the description to give you the nitty-gritty of how to get in and play.
Yeah, and it's pretty simple. If there's things you don't like about it, even those things are pretty easy to change or whatever you want to do with it. So let us know what you come up with.
Totally.
See how you break the game if you do play test it.
Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, everybody, and we'll see y'all later.
Goodbye.
Bye.